All right, let's just dive right into this. Have you ever had a few hours of totally free time before, say, an appointment, but instead of being productive, you just wait? Yeah, you're not alone. Today, we're going to break down the science behind this super frustrating thing called waiting mode, and more importantly, give you a real plan to get that time back.
So picture this. It's 8 in the morning, you've got a dentist appointment at 11. That's 3 solid hours, right? I mean, that's enough time to clear out your inbox, get a head start on a project, or heck, just enjoy a cup of coffee without rushing. But what really happens? For so many of us, absolutely nothing. That entire morning just kind of vanishes into this black hole of scrolling on your phone and anxiously checking the clock. You end up feeling exhausted before the day has even really begun.
If that scenario sounds painfully familiar, I need you to hear this loud and clear. You are not lazy. You're not bad at managing your time. You are experiencing a very real, very common psychological response called waiting mode paralysis. Seriously, it's a brain thing, not some kind of character flaw. So, what exactly is this anxious limbo? Well, it's an incredibly common experience. It's seen a lot in people with ADHD or autism because it's tied directly to our brain's executive functions. You know, the whole management system that's supposed to handle planning and actually starting tasks. But honestly, having your entire day held hostage by one future appointment can happen to absolutely anyone.
Do any of these look familiar? That endless, mindless doom scrolling? That weird feeling where you're physically unable to get a real task started, checking the time every 3 minutes? It's this state of being completely and utterly stuck. You've got the time, but you have zero mental energy to use it. It's this specific kind of paralysis that just drains you.
Okay, so why? Why does our brain do this to us? How can one little appointment create a massive 4-hour roadblock? Well, believe it or not, it's not totally irrational. Your brain is actually trying to be efficient, but its strategy just completely backfires on us. Let's get into the science of it.
Okay, so the first big reason is something called the transition tax. Think of your brain like a computer. To start any big, important task, it has to load up all the right software and files, right? That takes a ton of processing power, a lot of energy. So when your brain knows it's going to have to start something, stop it, switch over to get ready mode, and then switch again to appointment mode, it sees a huge energy bill coming its way. And so your brain does this super quick cost-benefit analysis. Over here, you have these high-tax activities like writing a report or doing deep creative work. And over here, you have the default mode, just anxious waiting. To save its mental battery, your brain basically says, nope, not worth the cost, and just parks itself in neutral. It's trying to protect you, but it ends up paralyzing you. And the second piece of the puzzle is time blindness. For a lot of us, a future appointment doesn't feel like a neat little box on the calendar. Nope, it feels like a giant, looming cliff that we're just speeding towards. So your brain gets obsessed with the anxiety of not missing it, and it hyper-focuses on that one thing, which leaves absolutely no mental bandwidth for anything else.
Okay, so that's the why. Enough of the psychology. How do we actually fix this? The good news is, by understanding our brain's weird strategy, we can actually offer it a better one. It's a simple 3-step plan to gently nudge your brain back into gear. Here's how we do it.
So here's the game plan. First, we're going to define our actual prep window. Then we're going to fill that waiting time with some low-effort bridge tasks. And finally, we're going to hack our alarms so we can completely outsource all that anxiety of time tracking.
All right, step 1, and this one is absolutely crucial. You have to stop thinking about the appointment time itself. Instead, you need to work backward and figure out your real deadline, the exact moment you actually need to start getting ready.
Let's go back to that dentist appointment. It's at 11 a.m. Let's say you need 20 minutes to drive. You like to get there 10 minutes early, and it takes you about 15 minutes to get ready. So when you do that math, your brain isn't really waiting for 11 a.m. It's waiting for 10:15 a.m. Just by defining this real deadline, you've given yourself a hard boundary. Your brain now has permission to actually relax until that specific time. So, what do you do with that time you just reclaimed? This is where my favorite trick comes in: bridge tasks. These are simple, productive little things that require almost zero creative mental effort. They don't trigger that high transition tax we were just talking about. You know, the biggest mistake we make in waiting mode is trying to start some huge, complicated project. Don't do that. Instead, lean into these easy, non-brain tasks. Wiping down a counter, watering a plant. These things are simple. They're either done or they're not. They get you moving physically, which helps break that paralysis, and they're super easy to stop when it's time to go.
And finally, step 3. This is all about giving your brain a break from its most stressful job, being the timekeeper. You need to outsource that worry completely. Stop relying on your own super unreliable internal clock.
So, using our 10:15 a.m. real deadline, you set 2 alarms. A soft alarm at 10 that's labeled finish up, and then a hard alarm at 10:15 that says time to go. This simple little change makes a huge difference. You're basically telling your brain, hey, you can stand down. The phone is in charge of remembering now. And that frees up an incredible amount of mental energy.
So really, the big takeaway here isn't about trying to force yourself to be more disciplined or just powering through. It's about a total shift in your mindset. It's about understanding your brain's unique wiring and creating systems that actually support it, instead of fighting it.
And that is the core message, right there. Stop trying to fight your brain's natural tendencies with brute force. It's just an exhausting losing battle. Instead, learn to work with it. Think of yourself as a kind collaborator with your brain, not some harsh drill sergeant.
And remember, success here isn't about suddenly having a perfectly productive 3-hour work block. Not at all. If you can reclaim just 15 minutes that used to be lost to anxious scrolling, that is a massive victory. It's about progress, not perfection. So please, be kind to yourself through this process.
So, I'll leave you with a little challenge. The next time you feel yourself stuck in that limbo, what's the one small bridge task you'll have ready to go? Because reclaiming your time doesn't